Vernomatic Productions.
Are you ready?
Live from the Metal Mayhem Studios in Rochester, New York.
We are gold. We are gold.
And heard around the world by metalheads just like you. This is Metal Mayhem ROC.
Heavy metal music.
Your weekly dose of metal music, interviews, album reviews, news, and more. Want to be part of the show? Send us a message through our website, metalmayhemroc.com, or hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. Search Metal Mayhem ROC.
It's getting nice and heavy.
Now, welcome our hosts, John the Vernomatic Verno, and direct from New Jersey, Metal Walt.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, staying healthy, enjoying Rocktober. Well, tonight we welcome Doro Pesch onto the show. You know Doro, the metal queen. She's been on the scene for well over 40 years. She's fronted Warlock for years. She has a successful solo career. Well, she's here this week to talk with Metal Walt about her new album, Warriors of the Sea. They discuss touring life, staying inspired, keeping her voice and fire going after 40 years. She reflects on iconic collaborations with Gene Simmons, Lemmy, and many, many more. And she also talks about what it's like in the 80s and what it's like now, the differences, the similarities, the pluses of each era. A true example of what it means to live and breathe metal. It's a good one. But before we get into that, just to remind you, head over to metalmayhemroc.com, sign up for the newsletter, get alerts for everything we're doing. Podcast episodes, interviews on the YouTube channel, reminders for our radio show on Monday night that I produce and host. Check out our merch page, tons of hoodies, hats, shirts, tons of goodies up there. If you dig what we're doing here, subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening. Drop us a quick review. If you missed some recent episodes, last week we had Mariah Wynn of Envy of None. 2 weeks ago, Steve Morris of Deep Purple. Let's see. At the beginning of the month, we had Keith Roth of Sirius Satellite Radio in our Eddie Van Halen 5-year death remembrance show, and tons of other content. So again, get up to metalmayhemroc.com and check some of the back episodes. All right, let's fire this up. Doro Pesch, talking new releases and old metal. For my co-host, Metal Walt, I'm the Vernomatic, and we are Metal Mayhem ROC.
Hi, Doro. Nice to meet you. I go by the name of Metal Walt, and I'm located in New Jersey. How are you doing today?
Very good. Yeah, I did 2 records in New Jersey, and I love New Jersey. I did it in Toms River with Jack Carney, two great records, Angels Never Die and Machine to Machine. So.
Now, did I also read right that you also lived in New Jersey for a little while?
Yeah. While doing this album, I did this album. I don't know if you remember that. The Machine to Machine. That was called Machine to Machine. And Angels Never Die. This one. And I think these records never officially came out in America, but they're great records. And I was living in Toms River, and a couple of months in Paramus. There was another great studio with my friend Mike Goldberg. He was the engineer. So I worked a lot in New Jersey, New York, New Jersey. We always went back and forth.
Hey, that's excellent to hear. So we are like blood brothers and sisters from New Jersey through spirit. Well, Doro, I'm really happy to have you on today. We're just going to bypass the introduction and get right into this. And you have a remarkable new product that you're going to promote. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a little while. But listen, you've been busy recording and touring for 5 decades now. Yet, in my opinion, your sound and your spirit have remained remarkably consistent. So a quick question. What keeps that metal spirit alive for you? What keeps that drive for you all these years later?
The fans, the metal fans, the people, the music. That's to me, it's the best. The most important thing in my life are the fans. That's why I've never been married. I love the fans. I love touring. I love playing live and seeing people sweat and headbang, when their hair is getting sweaty in my face. That's that's to me the ultimate. So it's the fans and the music. Yeah.
It's like I always say, when I remember my mother and father, when I was in my early 20s, they kept saying when I got my first job out of the university, and they said, he's going to outgrow all this rock and roll music. And here it is, I'm 55 now, and it's never going away.
No, and I see the great Judas Priest record behind you.
Yeah.
See that and Kiss, and I was a big Kiss fan too. Judas Priest was my very first tour in 1986, and then I got the chance to go to America for a little promotion tour, 3 days to New York. After 2 days, I told everybody I will stay, and everybody said, "Yeah, you're crazy" and stuff. And I stayed, and then we did this album, Triumph and Agony, which became actually our biggest hit. And I still love it. I still love to play All We Are and all these great songs. And
So, obviously, Doro, even though you have New Jersey, New York metal roots, you also, you come from Germany, of course, Dusseldorf area. And, Germany, of course, is known for bands like the Scorpions and Accept, Destruction, Creator, Axie Rudel Pell. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And you're part of this legacy, but, kind of coming from that German metal scene, what do you think makes that community so unique?
actually, I must say Germany is okay, but you need something, what can keep you alive. And I felt like a normal life. Oh man, I think that was really difficult. And then when I had my first band, that was it. And I had a normal job. I was a graphic artist, but I just used it to do all the posters and the logos and stuff. And so music became like my life. And I think many people felt the same, especially bands you just mentioned, like Creator, for example, or Axel Rudi Pell. They're pretty much from the same neighborhood like I am, or Sodom, Tom Angel Ripper. And I was growing up in the truck. My dad, he was a truck driver, and I loved my dad. He was my best friend, but it was a tough life. It was pretty heavy. And so music was like, where I felt, man, I'm the happiest. I feel free. I can totally I can belt it out, shout it out, like really heavy, and I was never like a fan of pop music. It should have been really, it was always intense. When I grew up, there was one moment, I was 3 years old, and I listened to one song. It was Little Richard and Lucille, and it had so much energy, so much power. Back then, there was no heavy metal. And I thought, I want to do that. So I made up my mind when I was 3 years old to become a singer. Like, I didn't know there was heavy metal because that didn't exist, but it was always high energy, powerful, like blood and sweat, and making people like go crazy. So, but I think Germany was like, in the beginning, a very small metal country. At first, we toured in Belgium and the Netherlands and England. England was pretty big. They had like magazines like Kerrang! Magazine. That was very important. In the Netherlands, they had a magazine called ROC. So we toured all over, and Germany was pretty small, the metal scene. But then it became huge, and and suddenly it exploded. But a little bit later, that's the reason why we did our first album, Burning the Witches, on this label Mausoleum, and it was from Belgium. But I think in Europe, definitely Germany is a big metal country. It became huge, and then metalheads, I still feel like we're a little bit like outlaws. So if you see another metalhead, immediately, you can trust, you love each other immediately, you're best friends. And when we started in the 80s, man, many people looked down on metalheads, like the normal people. It was actually, they thought maybe we would destroy everything, whatever, and now it's pretty accepted. Everybody knows about metal. Everybody knows, like, Metallica, the Scorpions, whatever. But in the 80s, when we started, we were definitely like, not accepted. It was different. But on the other hand, I thought, that's cool. I don't even want to belong to the masses. I want to belong to the metalheads, and I was totally fine with it. But but now it's like normal. It's the same like the punks or hardcore, people were always like, they didn't know what to make of it. So they, amongst each other. But but metal was always my choice like of music. I love rock and metal, and I love it intense. I love it very, very soulful, but I love it very intense and heavy and hardcore and, fast.
Well, I can see your passion for it still. So, Dora, before we get into your new 2025 items and your plans, you've been called a pioneer for women in metal. And, all you have to do is look around now. Over the last 4 or 5 years, there's this explosion of women in rock and metal, women-fronted band, all female bands. And now that you've seen multiple generations of women come through the ranks, how does it make you feel knowing you helped normalize that presence?
It's nice. Yeah, when people say something nice about me, it doesn't have to be like über or super. But when people say, yeah, man, you inspired me with your, maybe with your video, Oh We Are or something, or we formed a band because we saw the video or we listened to one song, that makes me so happy, and especially, when I started out, I swear there were maybe 99% guys in the audience, and maybe like, a handful of girls. And now it's almost 50-50. So I think that's great. And so many great singers and female musicians and female bands. It feels great. It feels great. But back when we started, I was the singer of the band. I didn't even think that I was like any different. I just did what I loved. Everybody knew I was that serious about it. I wouldn't give up so easy. So, and I was always treated really good. I never felt that I was like, that it was so different being a woman. Later on, people like, journalists, they wrote some articles and then they said, well, the woman, but to me, I'm just my little old self. I'm a metalhead. I love music. I love to make the fans happy and give them all I've got, and and empower them, give out great energy, sing my heart out. So yeah, to me it was nothing special being a woman. I was just a woman, and but I loved it. I was always treated so good by, when we toured with people like Ronnie James Dio or Motorhead or Judas Priest or, Saxon, you name it. Everybody was always super, super nice to me and very supportive. And then even like these big, rock stars like Gene Simmons, because I see you have like Kiss behind you. I was a big Kiss fan growing up. I still am. And then it was so wonderful when Gene Simmons did one of my records. It was in 89, 90. And actually I have the picture this here. I'm a big record collector, and that was the one. And I was actually, it was unbelievable that Gene Simmons would produce an album, and he was writing many songs for this. And I was, wow, I mean, if you would have, told me when I was like still in school that I would ever work with Gene Simmons of Kiss, oh my God, it was like so many great things happened, and and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from so many people. It's like, I'm very grateful, and I want to give it back to other bands or to new bands or to new female musicians or female bands, like what I, like all the support I got, I always give it back, like, and support, whoever wants to do it, it's a tough job too, always goes up and down, but it's the best. It's the best, yeah.
Well, I can attest to seeing you open up for Ronnie James Dio on the Magica tour in the year 2000, and you've played Jersey. I've seen you out there a couple of times. But you're right. Gene Simmons was instrumental when Warlock kind of ended and Doro started. He was right there to help your career in the late 80s, which was a tough time. And you had friendships with Lemmy, the guys from Motorhead, the guys from Sax, and Biff Byford. You've been up on stage with these guys. I mean, most recently, I heard that you jumped up on stage with the Dirk Schneider band, with Udo. You were at Wacken, correct? Tell us about that experience.
The Dirk Schneider, the singer of Accept, or ex-singer of the Accept. We are great friends for many, many years. And actually, my first duet was with Lemmy Kilmister, which I loved so much. I miss him every day. And my second duet was with Udo Dirkschneider. And we did actually cover a Judas Priest song, Breaking the Law. And that was awesome. I still love to play it live. And we did many, many things together. And then he asked me if I would sing a song. He released a new version of Balls to the Wall. And he asked me if I would sing on Winter Dreams. And it's a beautiful song. And I said, yes, of course. And we did a very nice video for the song in Italy, in this castle. It was up in the mountains. It was so cold. It was ice cold. You always think of Italy like, sunny and warm. Oh, it was the coldest day of my life. But it was great. It came out great. If you guys want to check it out, called Winter Dreams. Yeah. And he asked me if I would perform it with him in Wacken. And I said, yes, it was so awesome. 85,000 people going crazy. And I sang the official Wacken anthem this year as well. I did one before. It was called We Are the Metalheads, like I think maybe 15 years ago. And now that was the new anthem, just Wacken, with another band. They call it the Butcher Sisters, and they're funny as hell. Like a really, really fun band. And they're young. They're young, and they attract young people and like a very young audience. And that was fun. It was pouring rain when we did it, but nobody seemed to care. So yeah. And Wacken, it's still one of the best metal festivals in the world. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
I will have to get there someday. That's on my wish list. I've been to Sweden Rock. I've been to High Voltage Fest. I was at the Ronnie James Memorial Show in London back in 2010. But, I hear great things about those festivals. But, let's get into your year 2025. It's obviously you've been busy. You've been on the road. You've had a couple of cruises. But you had this new album dropping called Warriors at the Sea. You got a new title track. It's a new song. So quickly, what's the inspiration and motivation behind the title and the single?
Yeah, actually, I did many cruises before, the Monsters of Rock cruises. I did many times, which were great. The 10,000 tons of metal, that was my first one. The Megadeth cruise, I did the Full Metal cruise. That's in Europe. The Wacken people are doing it. Yeah, and then I want to do my own cruise. And I was having this idea. And then actually we found a ship. And I wanted to do it like a ghost ship, pirate kind of theme. And the first ship was immediately sold out. So we did a second cruise. And then I thought, oh man, I want to do something great, and write a song for it. And spontaneously it came out, Warriors of the Sea. And then we did a nice video for it. So guys, check it out. I think it came out really good. It was actually filmed on the cruise, and with the fans and the band, and we all had nice outfits on, I looked like a little captain, and the guys pirates. It was pretty nice. Yeah, and then I thought I want to do a little picture, just like maybe a single. And then somebody said, how about the 12-inch? And I said, how about a picture this like a whole album with all songs which are talking about warriors and the sea and ocean kind of stuff. Yeah, and then we did it. And today, for the first time, I saw the picture disc, and I can show you it. That's how the cover looks. And
beautiful.
The ghost ship, like a little bit. And that's the picture disc. Isn't that nice? I just unpacked it 1 hour ago. So I drove all night to get it to show it to you guys, because today is the interview day for me. And so that's the thing. And then there is another special edition. We never did it before. It's really special. It's 1,500 limited edition, and it's a liquid-filled vinyl with blue curacao. Check it out. Isn't that nice? You could drink it if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it.
So Doro, how does that work? How did that get in there? And can you actually play the vinyl with the liquid in it?
Oh yeah, you can. It was actually very tricky to get it that it wouldn't leak, But it's like actually it's I don't know if you can see it, but there's something on it as well. It's whatever.
Like a little embossing. Yeah. Hold that up a little bit more. Let's see that. Hold it up flat. Look at that's beautiful.
Yeah, there are like some skulls on it and all. And when you have it on your record player, then, then it's like making like these nice things. And it's actually handmade. And I think you put 2 records together. You have to glue it together and then put, the liquid in. I thought before some bands, they did it. Some bands did it with blood. I thought, that's pretty cool. But I want to do something different. What is like, what has more like the Warriors of the Sea theme. So I thought I want to do something in blue. And then I thought, how about blue curacao, and we can baptize the album with blue curacao as well. I did that one time before with champagne, but this one will be with blue curacao. And we want to do it actually in America, and probably in New Jersey and in Florida. Right. And one in Germany, so that's just in the making. But it's for collectors. It's like probably not for everybody. For the diehard fans and for the collectors, it's pretty nice.
Where can the fans buy this? And you said it's limited to 1,500 units only?
Yeah. I think you can buy it everywhere, like Best Buy. You can actually buy it in America. I made sure because getting something via import is always sinfully expensive. So you can definitely get it Amazon or Best Buy. You can get it in America. You don't have to have all the shipping fees. So yeah. I guess you can find it on the internet. Yeah. And this one as well, I think that came out so beautiful. The other one is a little bit more expensive because of handmade, but I think this one is nice too. You can hang it on your wall or you can listen to it. Yeah. Like young people, they sometimes ask me, what are you doing with it? And they say, can you give me a picture of this? And I say, yes, And then I say, well, there are songs on it. And then I say, no, we just want to look at it. I say, well, I tell you, I'm old school. You can definitely, you can be sure there's music on it. You can put it on your record player and can listen to it. And, sometimes like very young people, they don't know anymore, it's like, it's funny. But I think I heard that vinyl is coming back and I would hope so. I would love it.
Well, that's a unique product. I've never seen anything like that. And you definitely are a trendsetter with that. I love the color blue. It ties perfectly back in to the theme of the cruises. So now, Doro, I know there's other tracks on the album. You have a cover of AC/DC's Touch Too Much, some other rarities. I've been able to listen to it. It's great. But when it comes to, let's say, promoting this album and playing live, talk about this. But, maybe first, let me ask you a question. In 2010, I read that you celebrated by playing your 2,500th show somewhere in Dusseldorf. Now, that was 15 years ago, so you've probably played another 500 shows. You're probably over 3,000 now, which is an astonishing number. How do you stay emotionally and physically charged getting on stage after thousands of gigs?
Oh, it's because of the people. It's because of the fans. I love them more than anything in my world. And to me, that's the best. It's to me like Christmas and birthday. Like when I'm on stage, when I see the people when their faces are lighting up, when they're sweating, when they're headbanging, when they're going crazy, then I'm in my element. And I love the fans. I love them. That's the reason why I've never been married. I love the fans and music so much. That's, I'm married to the fans, and that's easy. I don't have to, get motivated. I'm always motivated, when I hop on stage, when I hear the fans. Sometimes, I sneak out, when the support band is playing, then I always, check out the fans, and then I know, the diehards are in the first row, and then I know it will be a wild and great show. And I always try to top every show. It's sometimes hard, when you're on the long tour, because it's exhausting, you don't get any sleep. Sometimes I always get sick, when it's in the winter time. But when I see the fans, the voice is always there, and I can sing 10 times better, louder, jump higher, when I see the fans. That's the reason why on this album, the B-side is all live versions. and that's of the last tour, and it has high energy and, and stuff like Raise Your Fist, you can hear the fans. And so I actually prefer live versions. And yeah, but I'm always motivated. Yes, yeah, always. When I go to bed, I think of the fans. And when I wake up, I think of the fans, and I think of what can I do, or what can I do better, or maybe a new song or a new idea, or what I can do, like to totally make them crazy on stage. We want to bring the Warlock back on stage, and that's just in the making. And actually, I saw a couple of things. Somebody like the road crew, they sent me some videos, and it looks so sinister and creepy and evil, and and the Warlock talks, and it's like it's funny. So yeah, and then with like smoke and stuff when it's dark, I think it will be like really like, yeah, it will be great. And I hope I can bring that Warlock thing all over the world, but sometimes it might be difficult, shipping and with planes but it will be a new thing again, an old new thing, yeah.
Okay. So what's the rest of 2025 and 2026 looks like for touring wise? Will you play the States? Will you have more cruises? Are you going to be around the world again?
Yes. Yeah, actually, we want to do another cruise next year, the 6th of June from Cologne, Germany. It's the third cruise. And then we have a festival already confirmed in Houston, Texas, the Haze Heroes. And I played it before. Yes. Awesome. I love it. We will probably do a Warlock set, like playing the Triumph and Agony, and then Hellbound, Burning the Witches, all that good old school metal stuff, and most of the Warlock songs. And and then I just did a movie, and I was the character Calamity Jane, and that was actually cool. And it was filmed in America and in Switzerland, and I just did my part. They're still filming, and I did 2 songs for the soundtrack. And this will come out probably early next year. And then, maybe doing a new album and touring. Yeah. And we have a winter tour coming up. And then doing record release parties all over, like in New Jersey and in Florida, probably New York, Germany. So that's all in the making. But non-stop touring, all the great summer festivals, especially in America. And then a new DVD, because I did my big anniversary, and there were tons of great guests on there, like Joey Belladonna and Mickey D of Motorhead, now Scorpions, Phil Campbell, Hansi Kirsch of Blind Guardian, Elisa White-Gluz of Arch Enemy, she was there, Angela Gosso of Arch Enemy was there. So we have many, many great guests, Tarja Turunen, the ex-singer of Nightwish, and tons of guests. So I'm working on this DVD, Blu-ray, and this will probably come out before a new album is coming out, because it was in Wacken, was filmed one time in Wacken and one time in my old hometown, Düsseldorf, Germany. And these 2 shows, we're just mixing it, and looks and sounds already great, but there's more work to do. So yeah, that's the plan.
Oh, you're staying very busy. Doro, before I let you go, you truly are a global artist. Like, do you have any favorite parts of the world that you play, or the ones that you love to go back to the most, or favorite memories of a particular festival or show over your 50-year career?
I'm a proud green card holder, and eventually I want to become an American citizen. I love America. I fell in love with, especially New York, when I first went there in 86, 87 for a 3-day promotion tour. After 2 days, I knew I wanted to stay. And then we did this awesome album, Triumph and Agony, which I still love. Here it is. There, you guys can see it. You remember that one, right? And
yeah, of course.
Of course, yeah, and it's still one of my favorites. So yeah, America is like, that's to me the best. I love it all over the world, but America means so much to me, because I had so much more opportunities, and people were so great. I met the greatest people. I could work with the greatest people, and for example, Rosie Powell, he was playing on Triumph and Agony as well. I know he's not from America, but what a legendary drummer. Yeah, and I met great people. So it's like, it's awesome. So America is, it's like where my heart is. And yeah.
Okay. Well, Doro, we also know that you're a big supporter of animal protection and PETA. I do have children. I have 4 children, but I also have 5 dogs. So I can appreciate your love for animals. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
It's the only thing I miss when you're on tour constantly. You can't have any pets. And I was growing up with dogs, and I adopted 2 horses because they weren't treated good. So I adopted 2 horses, and you're lucky, man. Kids and dogs. Oh God, that's great. But I made up my mind. I want to dedicate my life to the music and to the fans, and I'm very, very happy and content. I miss having animals, but then it's cool to meet people like you who care about animals. So that's really cool. That's
well,
cool.
I have German dogs. I have 4 Dachshunds, so the wiener dogs. So, and they're sitting right next to me as I'm conducting this conversation with you.
Oh,
so it's a beautiful. So, well, Doro, I appreciate your time today. So for more information on Doro, head over to doropesch.com for all of her news, merchandise, tour dates, and links to the socials. So Doro, I really appreciated this discussion. You're a woman passionate about metal and life, and I thank you so much for your time today.
I see you very soon. Maybe a show or a gig or party or festival, and all the best to your listeners and viewers, and keep on rocking, stay metal, and all the best.
Well, thank you, Doro. So for today, my guest, Doro Pesch. I'm Metal Walt, and this is Metal Mayhem ROC. Tschüss.
Cheers. Take care, guys.
Metal for life.
Thank you for listening to Metal Mayhem ROC. Check out our website at metalmayhemroc.com for information on podcasts, archives, links to all our live radio shows, and all sorts of info. Please like, follow, and share with everyone, even your non-metal friends. And always remember to keep it heavy.